discover surprising facts about people with just one thing in common. They all have the same name. Joining me are 6 of my favourite people, each bringing their own unique name, own unique personality, and their own, in some cases, unique smell. Please welcome Stephen Mangan, Susanna Lipscomb, and their team captain, Josh Widdicombe. And on the other side, Nish Kumar, Melanie... never can pronounce that name, and their captain, Richard Osman! Let's start with you. Now, do you like your name? It's a wonderful name, I think.
I do like my name. It's Nish Kumar. It's a great name.
But your grandfather did change his name.
Yeah, my grandfather did change his name, but he didn't tell anyone. And he didn't. It wasn't a small change. His name was Methil Narayanan Kutty.
So he changed it but didn't tell anybody?
Yeah, he changed it to Mike, but he didn't tell anyone. It's absolutely true. We found out when someone called the house and said, "Is Mike there?" And my grandmother was like, "No," and he was like, "That's for me."
So the all-important question, which name will be featuring tonight? Well, they can be holy, hairy, or even contrary. Yes, tonight's name is Mary. Yes, we're going to be talking about people called Mary, also Marie, Maria, and even Marilyn. We're a very broad church. Along the way, our teams will be collecting as many Marys as they can. And at the end of the show, the winning team will have the honour of deciding who's officially the greatest Mary of all time. Now, that person will then be inducted into our Insert Name Here Hall of Fame. Now, Josh, any early thoughts on who your greatest Mary might be?
I'm going to go with, obviously, the greatest Mary of them all.
Yeah?
Despite what you say about her backstage, Sue.
Listen.
Mary Berry.
Yes! The greatest beggar of all. Yeah. Richard, how about you?
We're going to have Mary or Marie or any of the derivations.
Yes, any derivatives.
So I'm going to go for someone who's a pioneer in her field, in the field of chemistry and pharmaceuticals. I'm going to go for Maria Sharapova.
Susanna, any historical Marys that we should be alerted to at this juncture?
Got Mary Medina. She was the Queen of England. She gave birth in 1688 in front of perhaps 200 people. Wow. And it was thought that... that was the thing you did at the time, to make sure that you weren't substituting a baby. But even despite having this number of people, they thought that she had given birth to a stillbirth and had a substitute baby in a bedpan smuggled into the bedroom.
So the gynaecologist had to do, "There's nothing up my sleeves."
All right, well, time to get on with the show. Time to pick a Mary, any Mary. Our panellists are going to choose a category. Behind each category lurks a famous Mary, which our teams must attempt to win. So we have got an extravagant Mary, radiant Mary, a superstar Mary, and not a Mary. So, Richard's team, get to pick a category.
What do you think, Nish?
Let's try extravagant.
Extravagant Mary,
Extravagant
please.
Mary. Extravagant Mary. Well, you have picked cake-loving French queen, Marie Antoinette. Oh. There she is, in her gardening clothes. Let's have a look at her stats. Level of richness, stinking. Aroma of Versailles, stinking. Once posed, nearly topless. After guillotine, actually topless. Before travelling to France for her wedding, Marie Antoinette had a proxy wedding in Austria with her own brother Ferdinand standing in for Louis XVI. How did that work, Susanna? How did the proxy wedding work?
So you want to secure a marriage, and so rather than just have a betrothal, you have a proxy, so someone else pretends to be the husband, unusual to be the brother. But so, I mean, there's an example from Henry VIII's sister, Mary Tudor. She had a proxy wedding, and the ambassador lay down on the bed next to her, and that was also a proxy consummation, because he laid his bare leg against her bare leg, and that counted as
That is consummation, right?
Yeah.
If that counts, my tally is going through the roof. I, my friend, have just reached double figures.
I think you've just had me.
Marie Antoinette headed to France after her proxy wedding, but what happened when she reached the border?
She'd forgotten her passport.
Oh, no, she was stripped of all her clothing. Oh. I'm not sure if everything had to go in the little trays while people behind her tucked in. No, it was the Bourbon tradition to ensure that anything related to the bride's old life was removed, and so everything was taken away, with the exception of a small watch her mother had given her, so she could see what time it was.
Where did she put the watch?
On her wrist, Melanie.
OK.
Not everyone wears it internally like you.
No, I just thought she...
You know what? I honestly wondered what that muffled ticking was.
So she settled into life in Versailles. What would she have seen everywhere around the palace?
French people.
psychics going?
Think sort of lavatorial.
Right.
Toilet paper.
Toilets.
No.
Shit.
No, they...
Yes, yes. Or as they say, merde. According to one contemporary account, the passages, courtyards, the wings and the corridors were full of urine and faecal matter. The park, gardens and the chateau made one wretch with their bad smell.
Is that the TripAdvisor review?
Marie Antoinette used her newfound wealth to indulge her love of fashion. What surprising feature did she have incorporated into her clothing?
She had the most extraordinary hairdos, didn't she?
She did.
So they were something like 3 foot from her chin to the top. When women were driving around in carriages, they had to kneel in the footwell and stick their heads out of the window because their hair was so high.
Oh, is that how she got...
When they were rolling up the window of the car.
She should have like built an entire new head on the top of her hair.
Like Beeble
For when she was getting executed. And then just... Ow! And then it's like... off the corpse walks.
Hairstyles were a huge part of the French court life, Marie Antoinette included. Her hairstyles reached, as you say, over a yard high. One of her biggest hairstyles, however, was the coiffure à la belle poule. Let's have a look at that. So it celebrated a famous naval victory over the English. When she wore it for the first time, she smashed a bottle of champagne over the side of her own head.
But what's interesting is its fashion is political. So she looks very pretty, but actually she's making a political point.
I think if Theresa May is serious about keeping Trident, she should get it as a hair.
Which, of course, Donald Trump already has.
OK, now it is time to play for the Mary. All right. So, according to legends, who was the first man ever to propose marriage to Marie Antoinette?
Is it Bruce Forsyth?
It's a famous musician.
But it's a French twiddly one, isn't it? So
What on earth are you playing there? It's a cross between a violin and a guitar.
One of the guys out of Daft Punk.
Can you end this speculation? Do you know, Susanna, who...
Oh, I thought you were coming to me.
I don't know, no. I mean, I guess around the time Mozart was...
is the right answer?
Oh, yeah, that's you know men. That's you know men.
The story, of course, is that young Mozart played for the young Marie Antoinette. When Mozart slipped over a young Marie, she helped him up and Mozart proposed marriage. Well done. I'm going to give it to Josh's team. Well done, Steve. You get the Mary. Right, Josh, it's your turn. Time to pick a Mary. You've got a radiant Mary, you've got a superstar Mary, and not a Mary.
Any views?
I'm intrigued by Not a Mary.
Let's try not to marry.
Not to marry.
You're going with not a Mary. You have chosen platinum screen siren Marilyn Monroe. Oh. So let's have a look at her stats. Name, Norma Jean Mortensen. Status of insert name here. Format, creaking. The iconic photo demonstrates enduring image of 50s glamour and sensuality. And importance of wearing clean pants. OK, so she's not originally a Mary or even a Marilyn. She's actually used many, many different names. She was born Norma Jean Mortensen, baptised Norma Jean Baker, and her initial idea for a screen name was Jean Adair, but changed her name to Marilyn Monroe in March 1956, when she was already a star. At the height of her fame, she used, however, a false name to sign into hotels. What was it? Does anybody know?
Did she use something like Mickey Mouse or something? MM?
I mean, almost as ludicrous. It was alliterative, I'll give you that. Think F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife.
Zelda.
Zelda.
Zelda Zanussi.
Zelda Zonk.
Zelda Zonk.
She signed into hotels as Zelda Zonk. Nicely inconspicuous. Have you used a pseudonym in your time, Melanie?
I like to go by the name of Claire Baker.
Home?
Scottish, always Scottish, if I'm complaining about television programmes.
Do you do that a lot?
I'd like to do that. I know it's a bit old school.
Who to?
Dear Channel 4, your new baking programme is rubbish.
Claire Baker. I'm giving you a bonus Mary Queen. Marilyn, of course, married 3 times, including one marriage to baseball star Joe DiMaggio and then again to playwright Arthur Miller.
Sue, you know a lot about Arthur Miller.
That's very funny of you, Melanie. Yes. I wrote my dissertation about Arthur Miller 4 hours before it was supposed to be handed in.
What was the first line?
Arthur Miller was a playwright.
That's right.
Second line
absolutely
He was
true.
an American playwright.
Where did you go to university?
Cambridge University. This was also pre-computing, so this was in the old days. We just hand-wrote it. So I hand-wrote 7,500... Yes, before computers, Josh.
Hang on, you dictated it to somebody. You
All
had
right, my friend Dan.
That is... I couldn't believe she said
My
that.
friend Dan...
Dear BBC, I saw Sue Perkins laying about her dissertations.
Are you doing an Indian accent, Richard?
I'm doing a very good Claire Baker.
You're getting into Claire Baker. We're all getting into Claire Baker.
Chance would be a fine thing.
She dictated.
Marilyn also had an affair with President John F. Kennedy. Susanna, lots of men fell for her, didn't they? Loads
Yeah,
of
I think
men.
so. I mean, she's the Madonna Hall complex in one person, isn't she? She looks sexy, but she also looks innocent, so everyone went for her.
I've been trading on that for years.
You've more got the Maradona horse complex.
She married her second husband, baseball star Jolton Joe DiMaggio, in 1954. Joe always worried about what Marilyn was up to. Didn't want anyone else getting to first base. How did he keep tabs on her?
Follow her 3 paces behind, wherever she went.
You're on the right track,
did he
actually.
have
Think
to-
Rubbish Spy. He did it himself.
Oh, did he have a newspaper with 2 holes in it?
He had... Do you know what? You're absolutely right. Not with the 2 holes. He used to sit in the hotel lobby wearing a fake beard, hiding behind a copy of the New York Times.
It didn't last, though.
Well, the signs were there.
Not
I don't
good.
know how I would disguise myself, because I already look like a person in disguise.
According to David Heyman's book, Joe and Marilyn, Joe bribed a doorman also to keep watch on Marilyn's visitors. And after she died, DiMaggio sent flowers to her grave every week for more than 20 years. How else did he remember her after they separated?
Did he have a doll made of her in the living
He
room?
did have a doll made of her. Absolutely. Well done. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah.
Well done.
He spent $10,000 on a life-size sex doll made in Monroe's image.
No.
The flowers on the grave are more
way.
romantic. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Where is it now?
Marilyn Monroe, an enduring legend, of course. And how's she been honoured in Texas?
Do you have a museum?
Yes, it's part of an artistic display. Think critters, think insects.
Tarantula.
Cockroach.
Cockroach, indeed. She's been awarded her own tableau at the famous Cockroach Hall of Fame. Yes, it exists. What they do is they recreate celebrities with dead cockroaches for faces.
What's going on?
Cockroach Monroe?
What's going on underneath?
Have they got others?
Oh, yeah, they've got loads of them. It's a proper... They've got Elvis,
they just got one,
Liberace.
Josh. It's one of the most disappointing museums.
Right, it's time now, however, to play for the Mary.
on
Or
then.
not a Mary
Come on then,
in
guys.
this case, OK? Many of Marilyn Monroe's possessions have been sold at auction over the years, so can you put these items sold at auction in order of the price they fetched, from lowest to highest? First up, a set of 3 chest X-rays, the bra she wore in Some Like It Hot, or the burial crypt directly above hers. OK,
Oh, what, so you're lying on top of her?
Wow.
they've been lying on top of her.
I think some nut job would pay a lot to be buried.
Buried with her.
on
I
top
think
of her.
that's probably the most.
Some like it rot.
If you fancy Marilyn Monroe, that X-ray, still not doing anything for you,
Depends
is it?
on whether you're a lung man.
I go in
go
that
for?
order,
Lowest to
low to
highest?
high in that order.
Yeah.
So you're going X-ray, bra, and then crypt. What are you going to go for?
So do you
Richard?
think crypt is the most expensive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we think that the X-ray is the least expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're wondering if the bra is more expensive than the...
Than the crypt. I think the bra's the most expensive.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
you're right.
maybe
I'd
the
say
bra.
is the most
So you're going for X-ray,
X-ray,
crypt,
then-
and bra.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's have a look. The bra fetched $20,000.
Okay.
The chest X-rays fetched $45,000. I'm afraid it was more expensive, and the most expensive thing, the burial plot above her, went for an astonishing $4.6 million.
Oh.
Well, the plot above her belonged to a Richard Poncher, whose final wish was to spend forever with Marilyn Monroe. He told his wife, if I croak and you don't put me upside down over Marilyn, I'll haunt you for the rest of my life. After 23 years, his wife had him moved and sold the plot on eBay, where it fetched $4.6 million. Sadly, no one wins the Mary, then. No one quite got it right. Now, Richard and Richard's team, time to pick a Mary.
OK.
I think superstar.
Superstar.
So
Superstar.
Well, it is multi-octave singer and one of the best-selling musical artists of all time, Mariah Carey. Let's look at her stats. Net worth, $500 million.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Grasp of reality, tenuous. Soon to be married to Aussie playboy James Packer. Soon to be divorced from Aussie playboy James Packer. She's sold more than 200 million albums, had 18 US #1s, and that's more than any other solo artist in history. At the 1991 Video Music Awards, Mariah did something spectacular. What was it?
1991?
Oh, I was on my 3rd year away because I'd studied modern languages.
Was that when you got 13% in your Italian translation exam?
Italian is a language.
Did she hit an as-yet undiscovered note?
Well, sort of. I'm going to give you that, actually. She reportedly sang one of the highest notes ever produced by a human voice during a performance of Emotions.
What was the note?
It was a G7.
I can get 4G, but only intermittently.
Loving that.
That got ironically good reception, didn't it?
According to the Evening Standard, what were Mariah's 15-strong entourage under orders to say every day?
You're not a spoilt brat.
Anyone for a game of rugby union?
Hail, Mariah.
I'll give you that. Along those lines, anyway. Good morning, Miss Carey. You look beautiful today. So much more heartfelt when it's backed up by contractual necessity, isn't it? In 2010, what did Mariah forget whilst appearing on an Italian chat show?
She forgot the lyrics to her song?
She did, and she forgot the words to her latest single. It was her version of Auld Lang Syne. Let's take a look.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never something.
Certainly, something.
I think she got away with it.
I do.
It's brought to mind is an ironic thing to forget.
The big news in Mariah's world is her forthcoming marriage, of course, to multi-millionaire James Packer. Kim and Kanye are Kimye. Brad and Angelina, of course, were Brangelina. James Packer and Mariah Carey, pariah. I mean, celebrity pairings are very much the thing. I mean, last year we had Tom Hiddleston and Taylor Swift, but it seems that Tom has already moved on. Here he is, leaving the Ivy with a mystery companion.
No, it was me.
You're going out with Tom Hiddleston?
So, care to break news? So basically, you're Lipston or Hiddlescombe? What are you calling yourself now?
I'm... The truth of the matter is I was just standing there. I actually...
He just oozed up behind you.
He charged straight into me. I was standing in front of the glass door. I saw he was inside and there was a guy outside with a camera and I thought, I'll just stand in front of the glass door and then no one will be able to take photos.
Do you know how glass works?
I thought I'd be in front of it. Anyway, then he opened the door and he came out at great speed, ran into the back of me, and the guy started taking photographs.
You. I love the way he's just barged into you and yet he's still giving it blue steel.
Was he nice? Did you talk?
Yeah, we chatted for hours. We went on drinking later. It was a great night.
Did you?
No, of course not.
Right, time to play for the Mary. On her 2016 Italian holiday, what did Mariah and James have his and her versions of?
Dogs.
Not dogs.
Speedboats.
Yeah, well, I'm going to give you that. It was actually yachts.
Yes.
Whoa! Right. They're individual yachts. It's so important in a relationship that each person has their own space. So they sailed around the Med in their respective boats. His, which is here, is the 7th largest privately owned vessel in the world.
Whoa, that looks like Marie Antoinette's hair.
Yeah. Mariah rented this as a 192-foot-long Capri. $340,000 a week, plus $40,000 for fuel. Yeah. Well, you do get to keep the nectar points, which is good. Get 2 separate boats. Well done. Richard's team, you win the Mariah. Time now to fire up our Mary-flavoured freak machine. Each time I spin, up will pop 3 of my favourite Marys. Our team has matched the extraordinary facts to the extraordinary Mary. Also a chance to unearth more candidates for the greatest Mary of all time. So, let's spin. We've got trying too hard goth rocker Marilyn Manson, anti-filth campaigner Mary Whitehouse, and Donald Trump's mother, Mary Trump, sporting the family hair. The question is, which Mary once got inside a baboon cage? Josh's team to guess first. What are you going to go for?
I think Marilyn Manson seems too obvious.
It's too
He's
obvious,
the kind of
yeah.
person that you can imagine getting in a cage with a baboon.
So the least obvious one is Mary Whitehouse. So we're going on that logic, then.
I don't know what her job was before she was a kind of...
Moral crusader.
Moral
I
crusader.
know she's a baboon trainer, because the only thing I know...
My heart says Mary Whitehouse.
Well, let's go with your heart.
Yeah, let's go with your heart.
Go with your
Oh,
heart.
don't say it in a sarcastic manner.
All right, you're going to go with Mary Whitehouse.
Whitehouse.
What are you going to go for, Team Richard?
I think maybe Trump's mum at some point. I think that's what I think.
You're gonna go for
Do you
Trump's
disagree?
I'll go for Trump's mum.
Trump's mum?
Trump's mum.
Trump's mum. Let's have a look at the right answer. Marilyn Manson.
We are idiots.
It's too obvious.
Who looks like the man who's going to go into a baboon cage? Made it clearer.
I'm thinking Mary Whitehouse in a baboon cage. You know, I lost my mind.
Marilyn said they told me not to look the monkey in the eyes because it might attack. I did it anyway because I was wearing sunglasses and because I was on drugs. Sadly, no one wins the Mary.
That's all right.
Let's spin again. So we have got R&B megastar Mary J. Blige, BBC presenter Mary Berry, and Mormon crooner Marie Osmond. The question is, which Mary was a member of a medieval reenactment society? Richard, what do you think?
That's Mary Berry being told what Paul's getting paid for.
That's
I think Mary J. Blige, because they
I
didn't
sort of
have
want it to be
medieval.
true,
They
though.
didn't have medieval in America, did they?
Speaking as a non-white person, we don't tend to want to get involved in anything that involves reenacting before about 1997. There's not a pot of gold at the end of that particular rainbow.
Beza. Let's go for Beza.
We'll go for
Beza.
Which doesn't sit well with me because I've never chatted to her about that.
Yeah.
You going for Beza?
We'll go for Beza, please.
Right. Knock yourself out, Josh.
Marie Osmond, do we think?
If it's any of those two.
That jewellery on the right-hand side does look quite medieval.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
actually that's a medieval reenactment there. Right?
Yeah,
good enough for me.
That's good enough for me. We'll have the point. Thank you very much.
So you're going for Marie Osmond?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. You said Beza. You
Yeah.
said Marie Osmond. Let's see who got the answer right. It was indeed... And I didn't know that either. I had no idea. She kept it completely quiet. She never, ever mentioned it. Her favourite bit was being in the tents.
How dare you? Sue, this woman's just lost her job.
I know. So well done, Richard. You win the Mary. Congratulations. OK, everybody, let's play Finish the Fact. I'm going to start by reading out a Mary-based gem. You're going to buzz in when you think you know how it ends. First up, we've got 70s stuntwoman Mary Connors. There she is. Human cannibal Mary Connors made 3 attempts to what? Steve?
Get another job.
She actually made 3 attempts to, this is hard, cross the River Avon. But on the last attempt, what happened?
Decided to use a cannon?
She bombed.
She actually sank the rescue boat. She sank.
She hit into it.
Yeah, she sank it. So, do you want to see one of her attempts?
Yes,
Not
please.
sadly this one. They don't have that one on record.
okay.
But this is one of her human cannibal attempts.
Oh, my God.
Oh, dear. Mary soon realised that being a human cannibal was too risky, so she became a human catapult. Now, this one has the added advantage of sending it directly into a huge net so that you don't get wet. Do you want to see her being fired into
More than anything in the world.
All day long.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1, fire!
Oh, my word.
Sadly, no one wins the the Mary. Oh, I think a round of applause there.
She's amazing. Brilliant.
Next up, it's daughter of Russian spiritualist Gregor Rasputin, Maria. After Rasputin's death, his daughter Maria had his
Life story made into a song by Boney M.
Had his beard stuffed and mounted.
Not his beard.
Oh, his balls?
Very close to his balls.
Oh, his penis.
Willie, yes.
Yes, Josh, his penis. Yes, Josh, that's yes. Had his penis pickled and stored in a wooden box, OK? In the 1920s, it was...
Oh. Still fresh as a daisy.
In the 1920s, it was fashionable to play celebrity cock in a box.
Do you know what? I've had a lovely day out. I'm going to stick with the cock I've been offered. Shall we see what cock you could have won?
In the 1920s, it was actually worshipped by a female cult in Paris. Some sort of members' club, I presume. The penis can still be seen in a jar of formaldehyde in the Museum of Erotica in St. Petersburg. There you go. Sadly, no one wins the Mary. I know. Next up, 19th century aristocrat, Princess Maria del Pozzo della Cisterna. Here is the worst wedding of all time, OK? On the day of Princess Maria's marriage, her
husband exploded.
It's along those lines. What? There was again. The wardrobe mistress hanged herself. And then what happened? Terrible wedding.
Did she count as the something blue?
Did Princess Maria say, no, I said hang up the dress?
It's easy. How can you not know this?
They cancelled the wedding.
No! Honestly, I cannot believe this. Right, on the day of Princess Maria's marriage, her wardrobe mistress hanged herself and the palace gatekeeper cut his throat. The colonel leading the procession collapsed with sunstroke. The local station master was crushed to death under a train. The king's aide was killed after a fall from his horse. And the best man accidentally shot himself. Lovely day. Lovely day. According to historical sources, it was a combination of collective madness and catastrophic bad luck. So we've come to the end of the show, and I can tell you that tonight's winners with the most Marys are Josh's team. Well done. So, very big moment, Josh. Who are you going to nominate as the greatest Mary of all time?
No pressure.
Of course, it is the Queen of Cakes, Mary Berry.
Yay! A very worthy choice. So let's put magnificent Mary Berry up on the insert name here Hall of Fame. Up she goes. Right next door to Alexander Graham Bell. Wonderful stuff. Well, congratulations to Josh's team. And, of course, to the losing team, Richard. Bit of Rasputin. Oh, my Lord. Enjoy that. My thanks to my guests. A special thanks to all the Marys here, there and everywhere. But a massive thanks to you at home for watching. Good night.